What's happening, people? Welcome back to Out of the Loop. I'm of course Matt Black. This video is going to be all about arpeggiators, as you probably saw in the title. I'm going to show you how to build arpeggiators in many different ways. A progressive style of arpeggiator that moves with your bass line, a polyrhythmic arpeggiator, a basic one that just runs along. You can have it underneath your track in a way. And I'm also going to do the sound design in Diva. You can use the same techniques in other VSTs like Serum and whatnot. It's all transferable. So yeah, like always, subscribe, comment, give feedback. You know what to do. I probably don't need to ask. I'm really close to 100 subscribers, so it'd be really good if you could push me to that point. And check out the website they've got set up. I'll put it in the link down below. No more promotion. Let's get into the video. Cool. So here we are in Ableton. I have this in a session view. I've got a loop going here. So we'll just play a bit of it if it was not soloed. Alright, just a nice, like, almost like loungy, chilled song. Alright, so we're gonna we want to put an arpeggiator into it now to make it sound a little bit more interesting, a bit more progressive housey, I guess. So let's build one from scratch. So we're gonna Control Shift M. We bring up this the MIDI, and so a basic arp would be, I'll start from we'll put it into 16s, which it's already in, and we'll go 6 from the root note. We're going to go up like so. I missed one. Yeah, we can just go there. And now we will just play what I have. I already have the sound design done, but I will show you how to do that. Oh, probably help if I looped it. So we just copy it here. Alright, so that's like your basic arp, okay? You can mess around with this. You could put like this note here, this note here, this note up here, and then this note down here. Okay, but we will just keep it basic. Yeah, so, and then I'll show you the sound design, right? So the processing I will show you afterwards, but we'll go into the sound design. So we'll go to preset, go on Dupe 6 or June 8 you could use. We'll do Dupe 6. And then so what you want to do to start off with is move this down to a noise, take off that, keep that on sawtooth, and then move over this mix wheel. So I've got the sawtooth mostly playing, and then I've got a little bit of the noise feeding in as well to give it like an airy feel. Bring down the cutoff to around here, open up the envelope a little bit, turn it into a pluck, so I'm just taking down the sustain, bringing down the release, and then bring down the decay a little bit, and we want to keep the attack as short as possible to keep it nice and plucky, and then similar settings here on the envelope as well. Cool, so that's nice settings, all good there. And then the next thing we'll do is go to modifications, and then you go to noise dual and put it on envelope 2. All right, so because Diva has a really nice analog emulating sound, so it's really good for arpeggiators. I find I can make them in Serum as well, but Diva for me is just, yeah, it's the one. So yeah, if you guys don't have Diva, I would suggest that you invest. Cool, so now we've got this sound. Let's have a listen. Yeah, really similar. Now it just needs a little bit of life. Sorry, bring this the other way. So now it's got a little bit of that noise. And the more you open that, the more noise will come in. Okay. Now let's widen it a little bit. But we don't want too much. You don't want to, it's not like a pad. Let's bring the dry all the way across. And bring the wet down. And bring the size down and the decay. So you'll hear it if you turn it off, but you're not really hearing like this huge reverb, right? Next you want chorus. Not this much. It starts phasing and stuff. Let's bring it down. There we go. So we've got a bit, it's just like widening the sound a little bit, but not too much. And then you can play around with these settings. You want it a little like more like so, more plucky. You can just do that to taste. And then we can do another thing just to make it a little bit more interesting, is just bring in an LFO. So right now the settings, it's not going to work, so we need to set this to sync. We probably don't want it on a second, but we can put it on here. And then I'll put this on side. And then also turn it down a little bit so it's not too crazy. And just do it to taste. I just want a bit of movement, but I still want that consistent sound going. Don't want it to duck too much. You can bring this up if you want, but there's not much. If you cut out the low end, it's not really necessary. Okay, cool. So we got our ARP, right? It's a nice, interesting ARP. The processing, just cut out the lows, and then I just pushed up the highs a bit to give it a nice, like, bright sound, almost like that. But you can just do this. You can go crazy if you want. It's not going to be too damaging because it's only going to bring it to around here, and then maybe later you want to do some cuts to get rid of any nasty resonant frequencies. We're going to do like this, and then we're going to compress it. So those notes that when it gets too loud, it's just knocking it down and keeping it under control, and then you can bring the volume of everything else. So you want a really quick compressor because the notes are really quick. Cool. And that's it. So these aren't really important. I can just I manipulate these on a later on in the track. Anyway, so we got our standard ARP, right? Standard ARP. So now let's move to a progressive ARP. Okay. And there is also another ARP you can do, which you probably already know. It's just if you have a sustained note. So say if I I'll show you real quick, just in case you've never done this. So just have one note. We'll have to change this ARP around a little bit. So go to main, turn the ARP on that's already built into Diva, and you put the sustain up. Sorry. Press play. So I would use this more for an underlying thing under the track. I wouldn't use it as like my main ARP. I mean, I definitely have done it in the past, but it's nice as it rolls under the track, so you can like turn it down a little bit. It's just there. It's like nice. You can maybe turn this off, just like that. You can just hear it. And then it's just nice in the background. If you want to then bring it up on a drop, you can do that stuff. But we're going to leave that there. Okay, so that's just a simple way you can do it. And obviously you can play around with the octaves. You can make it more. So then it's rotating through the octaves of A sharp. So that whatever note you put, it's just rotating through those octaves. Okay. We'll keep it there, and we can just leave this on. Yeah, I'll just duplicate this and get rid of these, and we'll just keep this through the track, right? So then now I'll put this on, turn this off. So now let's see if we can try and work in another ARP with it. So we have this progressive ARP, right? This is really nice. I like to use this a lot. So the progressive ARP is moving in the progression of my bass. Okay, so the bass here is like so: F sharp, A sharp, D sharp, F, F sharp, D sharp, F. Okay, so then the progression goes F sharp, A sharp, D sharp, F, and so on and so forth. So it repeats. So then this will work with my my bass. So yeah, I'll just quieten this down. Sorry, I need to just turn this back to a normal ARP. So take off the ARP button because it's just a pluck now, and then take down the sustain. It's a really nice, quite strong element of the track. And you can do different things, like you can affect the detune on each of the voices that are hit. So you just bring this detune up. They're already, you see them moving between these. And if you bring this up, every note will detune differently. Just do that a little bit. And then we can just turn this down a bit. A little bit of noise. Alright, cool. So we got this nice progressive ARP now. So yeah, all I've done is just copied the same pattern as the bass, and then kept this simple ARP pattern. So 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4, and then just change the notes to the progression of the bass. And you can do that by just doing this, right? This is the easiest way you can do this. You highlight this and then press Control and click on whatever you want to see at the same time. And now I can see the bass notes, and then I can see my ARP at the same time. And you just move them as and when, how you need to. All right, moving on. So now the last one is going to be a polyrhythmic pattern. Polyrhythmic is, I don't really know the terminology, but it's essentially the notes not landing consistently on, like, what is it, in 4 16 notes. So it will land, they rotate, it moves. So you see this start note, it's different on each bar. It's not here and then here and then here and then here. You see these black and white grids. It's not landing perfectly on the grid. It's moving along each time. Okay, so let's listen to what that sounds like. If I bring this down, and then really like interesting melody, and also I've messed around with the notes. So rather than it being just like here, I just move that down. And then I've moved that one up, and so on and so forth. You can just play around with where you want the notes to play, and then you get this nice, interesting melody as well as an ARP as well. Okay, and then you can also step that up even more, and then do a polyrhythmic pattern that progresses with the bass. Right? I should show you how to do the polyrhythmic thing. It's really easy. So say if you have this standard ARP here. If you just highlight here instead and then press duplicate, it's going to move along there, and then you do it again and it will move along there, rather than just copy it in here and then it will just keep following that same thing, right? You could go crazy, you could go like there. I'm not even sure what that would sound like. I've never tried it. Give it a go. But yeah, that's different ways you can do it. That's the polyrhythmic pattern. And now I'll just show you the polyrhythmic progressive pattern. Okay, so we have this. So it's following the bass line, and it's not, exactly where it should be. It's a polyrhythmic style. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, I quite like that. It's interesting, and yeah, it's got a nice progression in it. So all these things are completely up to you, how you want to manipulate them. I hope that's helped you guys out a lot, rather than you guys just doing a simple art pattern and you don't really know where to go from there. Now you have all these options at your disposal. All right, so I think, yeah, that's going to cover it. Thank you very much for watching the video, as always. The next video is going to be a performance of this song. So I'm going to basically perform this song in session view, recording it, so it records the entire arrangement, and then I'm freestyling with like the piano and things like that. So it's a lot of fun, and it'll be a lot of fun for you guys to watch, and then I'll do another video explaining how I've done that. All right, cool. So yeah, thank you very much, guys. Please subscribe, comment, like, all that, and I'll catch you in the next video.